So now you are aware of the term homeschooling or the idea of homeschooling, and now that you are aware of the idea and you are quite convinced that you want your child to have a much more freer and happy learning time instead of the strict and forced kind of space in some schools. If you are desiring to homeschool, then the second space that we want to move into before you begin to homeschool your child is to understand what are your goals in homeschooling. So usually the question is, now what do you want your child to learn? Do you want to look at what kind of goals, how do you want your child to be in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now, in 15 years from now, in 20 years from now? Because in school, the school's authorities, the principals, the teachers, they have a very clear goal plan, and based on which they do the curriculum. And as parents, now that you are stepping into the learning space and you are going to be responsible for the child's learning, many of the parents who come into homeschooling, the first question that they ask is, what about the university? Will they be able to join the university? Will they be able to take up exams? Will they be able to go and write government job entrance exams? So the child is only 3 years old or 5 years old, but you are actually planning 15 years ahead, 20 years ahead, and you want to, because you want to have an end in mind. And the question that I would say is, it is up to you. Do you want your child to be exam ready after 20 years? If you want, do you want your child to be interview ready, job ready after 20 years? So you can make your priorities and then you can start to identify goals. So you can choose the time frame, whether you want to do a 5-year game plan, whether you want to break down this 20-year game plan into a goal plan into a 5-year and then a 1-year goal plan, but you want to do it this way. So primarily you can set academic goals. For example, some of you might be interested in sending the child back to the school because you are doing it out of out of your complaints about online schooling, and you want to do a better job, and when the schools reopen, you are in a circumstance that your child has to go back to the school, and so your goal can be the child should be school ready. So what are all the things that they would have covered in this 1 year? You can aim to the child to cover those methods in a much more flexible and happy environment. So that could be one of the areas to set your goal. So sometimes you could also be interested in a skill-based goals, which means you are not at all bothered about the academics. You are more interested in the child's skills. The child is interested in dance. Morning to evening the child is dancing. So you can look at how can you engage your time constructively into child's dancing. You don't want to force mathematics and English for her right now, but you just want to allow the child to enjoy dancing and be in her own world. So which means you can say, I want my child to be to learn this kind of dance and this kind of skill set in dance within this period of time. You can say, I want my child to be swimming enabled. She or he can be acquired certain skill levels in swimming. They can be acquiring skills in skating. So you could choose what kind of goals you want to achieve, what kind of area you want to set the goals. And thirdly, you can also say mental health. You can also have mental health goals. So what kind of emotional control, emotional maturity you want the child to have? My child, I would like her to be managing her anger in a much more matured way in 4 years from now, in 4 months from now. I want my child to be happy, to be able to talk freely and ask for what she wants, and to be able to interact with people in a nice way. So you can have some behavioral goals like this. So to be able to communicate with people, to be able to go to a local shop and buy something and come back So you can look at what kind of goals do you want to focus, and if you just want to leave it freestyle, you can also have a free style learning, which means you don't put up any goals. You don't put up any goal, but the child goes on to learn what you want to learn. So you are completely keeping it free for the child to learn the way it wants to. So you can choose any of this. So you can choose a no goal goal also, which is what is freestyle about, or you can just have these kind of skill sets and help them to provide with resources that will help them to move in these directions. Because a child is not going to come back and ask you. I want to learn rhymes. It's you who introduce rhymes. And sometimes, okay, you don't want to allow the child to be access pornography on your mobiles when they are learning rhymes. So obviously, you're going to keep some constraints. So within this constraints, you're going to allow this freestyle learning, or you're going to have a very directed learning. So you can choose between, again, I'm going to go back to that parent-led learning, or a parent-assisted learning, or a child-centric learning, or a self-directed learning. So the child is going to play around. You can have any of this. You can keep about all those things in mind when you keep all these goals, and then you can start to look for resources that will support them. And based on how, if they are very young, then a lot of decisions has to be made by the parents. If the child is slightly elder and the child is able to ask for what it wants, then obviously you will be able to have their decisions also part of the process. And sometimes you can also educate children about the choices by helping them understand what is a rhyme, what is a park, what is a skill based goal, and then allow them to form their own goal sets also. So you have all these choices when you come to homeschooling goals. So thank you. Now we will move to the next zone. So we have talked about what is homeschooling. We have talked about what are all the homeschooling goals that you want to have for your child. So the idea now is, you have understood the spirit of homeschooling. You have understood the goals for your children and for yourself in this homeschooling process. Now you can move into the next stage, which is, how do I actually homeschool? So this is going to be an interesting space. Hi, I'm Ashok Subramanian. Thank you for stopping by my channel and watching this video. If you like my video, press the like button, only if you like it. And if you think you have benefited in a small way, and you think your friends and colleagues in your network will also benefit, please don't hesitate to share this video with them. That will be a huge win for them as well and for me as well. And if you want to know about my future videos, because I'm going to make a lot of new videos on the domain of self-development, which can help us together create a better world. So your help of sharing this video will be great help for me. And if you would like to know of these future videos, I would like you to subscribe to my channel so that you can automatically get informed in your YouTube about my videos. And you can also press the bell button. If you want to ask me anything, if you want to say something, that is all welcome. Please use the comment section to interact, and I will give you my views through the comment section. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for encouraging me. Thank you.